Hi, I'm in my studio today and I wanted to show you something that I like to do is make my own collage paper, and I do it using just regular paper. I can use copy paper, print paper, old magazines, old books, pages, just anything that you were going to toss out. So instead of tossing it out, I thought it'd be fun just to paint and do some abstract painting and spray painting on them and use them as background in my collages, or you can use it on top of your collage, however you want to use it. But it's, you know, so much fun to use your own paper that you made yourself, and it's kind of a fun way to get your painting energy out. So, you know, you could be abstract, you can practice. But I want to show you how I do different techniques for making collage paper. So these are just regular pieces of copy paper that I just used acrylic paint on top of, and I used the wide brush and just wrote out in my handwriting words and shapes. I used the word love over and over and over again. I'm actually doing this for my workshop tonight, and I noticed that the participants, they love love, and they're doing collages of their family. So, you know, this is appropriate for family collaging. Over here, I kind of mixed it up. I did some X's and O's, joy, you know, just things that I think that would be great for their collages. And then I thought, you know, we can use some magazine sheets, old book pages. What this is watered down acrylic paint. I just put it in an old cup. It's this just Craft Smart from Michaels. You could use any black craft paint, water-based paint. I just took this and I put a little bit in the cup, and I added about the same amount of water just to water it down and mixed it up. And as you can see, it's nice and, you know, thinned out. And you want to use a good brush that you feel comfortable writing with. So if I come over here, I'm trying to do this with one hand so I can hold the phone with the other. And there you go. And you can write anything. I'm just going to keep writing love and joy because that's all I can think of right now. That's where I'm at right now. Love and joy. If you have good handwriting, you know, or even if you don't, just you know, try it. You might find yourself getting some good practice for handwriting in. But I'm just going to add this to my pile of collage papers. Let me swing over here. So these are doilies, paper doilies that I used as stencils to create these fun stencil papers using spray paint and paper doilies. You can get doilies in the craft store in the baking section, I believe, or what these ones came from, I believe they came from a restaurant supply company, kitchen supply store, and I bought them in bulk years ago, and I have so many, it's like I can never run out of them. So I use them, but, you know, I just lay it down, spray paint, and let it, you know, lift it up, let it dry, and then you get these really fun papers. Okay, so here are the ones that I've already done, and now I'm going to save these now that they're dry, and I'm going to show you how to create this ombre or this gradation effect. Okay, so I have my mask on, so it might be a little hard to hear me, but I'm using Montana Gold, and I have kind of a wide cap on this. You can use any cap. Usually the standard side cap that comes with it is good enough. And I have this piece of, I ripped this out of a magazine,
And I'm going to reuse this one and maybe use the other side. It's dry, so I'm just going to lay it down. I have to hold it down a little bit. And lift it up. Place it down again. And there I have this really cool sheet that I can use this for a collage in the background. Or I could put it on top of someone. It could be their clothes. We'll see. I'm just going to create like a bunch of different things so you can have in your collage paper arsenal. Okay, so I'm going to use, this time I'm using Hot Pink. This is Gleaming Pink by Montana Gold. Whoops, sorry about that. And again, this is just regular copy paper. And I'm just going to be making some graffiti marks. The trick is that you don't want to spray too hard. This takes practice, so get a stack of papers and like really practice your velocity and the distance between your nozzle and the paper. I'm working flat. This is a table. Give it a good shake. Always keep your spray paint can shaken and always clear the caps when you're finished. You clear the caps by turning it upside down and spraying until it goes clear. But anyway, so I just kept this. I kept the can close and just kept it moving. Like I said, it takes some practice. Let's try again. You can, if you want, you can write words or just do shapes. This can is about to run out, which is perfect because it starts to sputter. If you hold the nozzle down just barely, you can get these really cool splatter effects. Sometimes you have to hold the can upright first and get the spray going and then tip it down. And sometimes if the spray starts collecting in the tray, you can just like tap it out like that. And then you can lay another color on top of this if you want, but I'm just going to leave this one the way it is and move on. And let's do one more. This time, let's try to write the word love. We're stuck on love today, so. Because my paint's running out, I got this kind of cool faint love. Let's try a different color, different can. Let's just go back to black. Okay, I got this effect because I'm using a wide cap. This is a wide cap. I don't know if you can see, but it has like it comes out like a long flat line. So I'm actually going to switch this cap out. Okay, so I've just switched the cap. This is a skinny cap. Now, caps come in different sizes. They come in fat, skinny, super skinny. You can pick your cap size at an art supply store. They don't normally come, you can't just buy caps like at Michael's. They just come with the standard cap that comes on the spray paint can. And I have another video where I go over all these caps. So if you go back to that video, and I'll leave it in the caption below which video that is, that kind of gives you a quick tutorial on how to do spray paint. But
This cap is skinny, and I'm gonna try doing the writing with this.
Okay, that one gave me the spattery things because I didn't get the velocity going, but I kind of like it. So I'm going to save it. This cap is doing some funny things. Let me get a different one. Okay, this one should be doing good. Okay, this is the cap. This is a standard cap that comes with every spray paint can. It's a little bit thick, as you can see. If you keep your cap closer to your surface, like I'll show you on this one. See, I'm practically right up on the piece of paper. Not here, not there, but right up on it. You can get a more clearer line, I guess you would say. You can also get, if you want drips, you need to hold it upright. Let me just turn the camera. And if you hold it down and move it across slow and steady, you'll get the cool drips. And you just keep letting it drip until you like the length of it, and then lay it flat so it dries at that length. Let's try it with another color. Let's do blue. Take it, give it an air spray just to get the paint going. Slow and steady. I'm just going to let it drip. It's kind of part of the fun of making your own collage paper. There's no mistakes. This fun one. That's fun. That can be used for something. Made some fun, kind of like, I used the edge as a stencil. And I'm just going to keep, changing it up. There's another color. All right, so let me show you some other things that I've made.
So here's a table where I spray painted the paper first and then dripped acrylic paint all over these sheets of copy paper. And I have to let these dry overnight because they are really wet. See, they've puddled the paint. They're gonna take an overnight, at least overnight, to dry. But I have a whole table full ready to go for tomorrow. And I'll show you how I did these.
Okay, here we go. I'm just gonna spray paint these.
Okay, so I have a whole spread here. I'm going to make the fun collage papers where I do the drip stuff and the slashes and all kinds of crazy stuff like I just showed you. Call it like kind of Jackson Pollock style. But I've spread out little pieces of paper. You can actually use a whole roll of paper if you want, magazine sheets, whatever you choose to use. But I'm just going to tilt the camera so you can see what I'm doing. So I took the papers and spray painted them first, just to kind of give it a nice color background. And as cool as they look now, I'm going to add some drips and drabs to the top, just to give them a little more interest. So the things I'm using, this is the black paint that I watered down. It's just regular craft paint, water-based paint, and I just added a little bit of water to it and stirred it. And I have some other things here on hand because I'm going to make more. This is an example of some finished pieces. You see the slashes and the drips, really fun, just done, you know, with regular brushes and acrylic water-based paint. So I'm going to start with the black and just, you know, tap it all over. You can use this too. This is a booger sucker, like that you use on babies. I use it to dip into the paint. First you gotta squeeze out the air, stick it in your paint, get all that paint up in there, and then just, you don't really have to push on this thing too much. It actually just drips out on its own. Or you can push it down and get some fun effects. You can sling. And if it gets down to the very last, when you press it, it makes a spray effect. Get some more. I'm going to change the angle of the camera so you can see what I'm doing. Okay, so I use that, the booger sucker, and now I'm going to make some pink. One thing you can also do is take the craft bottles, and once they start thinning out with just a little bit of paint on the bottom, you can add water to them. You can shake them up and then use those to drip paint. Also, there's these fun bottles from the craft store. They come just plain. I put a little bit of acrylic paint and mix some water. You can shake that up and use that to drip. You can whip it like that. If you use like kind of a whipping motion, you get the stripes. Let me make some pink. So I'm going to just take a cup and add the pink paint. Just a little bit, and then you want to water it down pretty good, so that way the more water you add to it, you know, maybe half and half, or 1 part paint, 2 parts water, and then you stir it. I'm just going to use an old brush that's about to die out. Get it all mixed up. And once you get it nice and mixed together, it's really like runny. See how it's runny? That's perfect. Then you can take it. Make sure you're in an area too where if you fling this, it's not gonna ruin anything. It will drip on your shoes, so be careful with your shoes. You can also just take the brush and drag it. Make some fun brush marks. I don't know if you can see. Let me see if I can move the camera a little bit. Let's see if I can get it all the way over there. So this is looking pretty good. I'm going to add a few more layers, maybe some white. maybe a few more black drips. I'm going to let it dry overnight, and then we're going to come back and use these pieces, some of these pieces, for a collage. Okay, so here's a dry brush technique. I just took the papers, I gave them a little mist of some spray paint. This is iron lac. You can also get this at Michael's or any good art supply store. It could be any brand. I just had that one. So what I did is I took an old container and I put some acrylic, just regular craft acrylic paint. I chose blue and put it in and added just a little bit of water. And I took an old dried up brush and kind of, I think sometimes the more ratty the brush, the better. It's one that needed to be tossed out probably, but I'm going to get one more use out of it. And get it in your paint mixture. And it's got scraggly bristles. I'm going to use that. So I'm just going to drag it. It's kind of hard to do this while I'm holding the phone. Let me switch to my arm. So I'm going to get this effect. This was done using a dry brush, kind of a brush that I would normally toss out, but it was good for this project. So I have an old cup, and I used acrylic paint, just craft pouring paint, or even just regular. You can take it, put it in the cup, just a few drops, or even just like, you know, maybe like a quarter size amount. And then I added some water to it, maybe half paint, half water, and give it a nice stir. And then see how this brush has, like, the bristles are a little bit rough? That's perfect. And then you take your brush and you just don't press down hard, just very lightly move it across your paper. You can even go off your paper a little bit. I'm going to go the other way. But this is beautiful. It's kind of like water. So I'm going to let that dry overnight. That's going to be beautiful for a background. Do it again. This one I started. And I didn't really dip the brush again yet. I'm using the leftover that's on the bristles. Set that aside. Let's do one more. And this just has a light mist of spray paint on it. I'm just using, just give it some background color. And you can use any color. I'm just using blue. It's almost like you're wiping your brush clean, if that makes sense. I'm just dragging it across the paper as if I'm wiping it off. I think what I'm going to add to this one is some orange, and I'm going to use this artist wedge to drag the paint and kind of create sort of a fun, I don't know, smoothed effect. But I'm just going to pop this open, and I'm just going to put a little bit, just a tiny bit. And if you don't have a wedge, you can also use like any kind of nice flat edge, even like an old credit card or gift card will do. And I'm just going to move it around and make these nice kind of patterns. And you'll have a little extra. Just take it and get rid of it. But I dripped a little bit. Go back in with your brush. Add some more. I've got a little piece of confetti on there. Hey, get off there. Okay, so this is, you know, I think it's really pretty actually, and I'm going to let that dry overnight. Maybe use that tomorrow. You can even use your finger. Just the abstract painting, and these will all become background materials for us to use in the big collage.